What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live in a living color. Well, from the temporary Radio What studios, and this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you could have me at your next event. I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Make your next thing a big one. Today on the program, Bella Levy. Who's Bella Levy? Where you been, under a rock? Well, if you don't know, you're going to find out in the next few minutes, so stick around. This week's shows, well, as it's New Year's week, let's see, Thursday, I will be at the RAB for our New Year's celebration. It has to end at 11 for some reason. 7 p.m. until 11. I'll be there from 7:30 to 10:30 with the video dance party karaoke jam. Yeah, I'm going to do like a ball drop, I guess, at 10 o'clock. So be there at the RAB, Conway, Arkansas. Yeah. It'll be fun. It will. This COVID thing's got everybody crazy. 2021 better be better. Come on. Come on. I think there's a light at the end of this tunnel. We got some vaccines and treatments that seem to be showing some promise. So there. All right. And then on Friday night, I got nothing. So New Year's Day, hey, enjoy yourself. We're going to relax. And then Saturday night, I will be at the Choctaw VFW for the video dance party karaoke jam. Now, I don't know what time I'm going to be there. The commander of the VFW swears I could be there from 9 p.m. until 1, like I usually am over there since it's the 2nd. So time may vary. Keep up with my Facebook page to find out more. All right, that's enough intro. Let's get into it with Bella Levy. Yeah. All right, I got Bella Levy on Skype. It was a little spotty, but I think for the most part, we got an idea. And if you're listening to the audio version, the video version is going to be a little easier because you could read lips, if some words cut out here and there. But if you're listening to the audio version, I think you're going to get the gist of who Bella Levy is. So, I think it was very fun talking to her. So let's go ahead and get into it with Bella Levy. Skyping Bella Levy now.
Okay, I flipped it sideways.
There you are, Bella Levy, the Bella Chica. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. It's the What Makes You Famous podcast. Hi, I'm KeysDAN. Good to know you. Good to see you. You went all out. You said, should I wear my crown? I don't know. I didn't. I said, you can wear whatever you want. We're pretty casual around here. And
see, I got my tiara and
see,
because a princess and a diva always got to be ready.
See, but now you're making me want to go put my crown on and my sash. I guess I need to go win something before I can get one of those. So
that's right.
For the people that don't know, for the people that have been living under a rock for quite some time, let the people know who you are, Bella Levy.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me on the show. I wanted to introduce you to this little towel I had? My friends at Popmoji made me a towel, and it's me on a towel.
That is you. That is fancy. That's a cartoonified you.
That's right. That's right. So my name is Bella, and I reside in Maryland. And let me see. I'm originally from Belarus, Minsk. My family immigrated here in 1980. We went to an area called Flatbush.
Is that New York?
That is New York. Absolutely. We didn't stay there too long because, my father wanted something better. It was just me and my sister. And, on one side of the street, you have the pretty girls in their pretty dresses. Well, now I know what that was. But back then, I was like, wow, they do fashion shows here. That's pretty cool. That's not what it was. It was, the girls doing what they had to do. And on the other side, they had the pharmaceutical dudes. So my father figured that is no way to raise two young girls. So we moved to Maryland.
Yeah, I think that'd
And
probably be a lot calmer living closer to the
yeah,
capital.
yeah, well, definitely wasn't Flatbush. So something I've always had in me is I've always loved helping people. That's just been a cornerstone of me. Gratitude, kindness. It's kind of like what I call like my paycheck of the heart. It's that unique feeling you get when you do something really nice for somebody and they tell you thank you, and you get like that champagne bubbly sensation on the inside that you can't buy anywhere. Like you did something really good for another human being. They appreciate what you did. And sometimes, I know it's going to sound like a cliche, but there is true giving. There really, really is.
Oh, there absolutely is, and I see that about you. I noticed perusing your social media, looking at some of the stuff that you've sent me over the last little bit since we've set up this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm noticing there are so many tent poles of you. There's so many facets of you. A little girl from Belarus. Well, tell me, tell me about Minsk and Belarus. Those always seem like very fascinating places to me. But it's always cold in Minsk. You always see the little old lady with the hood over her. Oh, she is walking down the street. Would you like to buy some bread? That is the caricature, the cartoon of Minsk. It has to be so much more than that. Tell me about your memories of Minsk, and how old were you when you came here in 1980?
I was 7 years old.
7.
Minsk is the capital of Belarus.
Okay.
Minsk is a huge metropolis full of culture, alive with music, alive with food. Food and music is international. It's understood everywhere. Huge in art. Belarus is actually known for its harvesting of potatoes. And if you know that most vodka is derived from a potato. So, Belarus is known for so much. I mean, we have culture, we have galleries. I mean, it's very, very full of culture, food, people, but my parents wanted a much better life for my sister and I, and for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So they decided to embark on the journey, and we immigrated to America.
Well, what were your folks doing back in Minsk? They said, hey, let's pick up our tent poles and head over to that place we have no idea about. But people say that there's milk and honey over there, and gold is pouring from the streets, and the rivers flow, with wine, over there in America. But what were they doing in Minsk that they decided, no, this is too hard. Let's go try something else. What were your parents up to?
Well, anti-Semitism was very, very strong, and still is a lot to an extent. It was a lot stronger back then. And my father and mother, both of them, wanted opportunities for myself and my sister that they never got just because of the structure of the government. And my father in Russia was an engineer, and my mother in Russia was an accountant. And I give them so much respect that when we immigrated to the United States, they continued on in those professions. Where I know some other people that immigrated from other countries because of language barrier or other obstacles, they had to take other types of jobs. But that just goes to show the type of work ethic that I come from, that failure is not an option. And you have to succeed, and you have to work hard. And, we teach our children by example, not by lecture.
Yeah, that's the stereotype. You watch a lot of those movies from the 70s and the 80s. You'll see the Eastern European man that's at the school. He's a janitor. Oh, in Russia, I was a doctor. That's the caricature. But but your parents obviously instilled that work ethic into you, because you are. All right, you're not just one thing. You're not, okay, I'm looking at you. The people that are watching the video version of this podcast are going to see that you're obviously a beauty queen. You've cultivated that. You've made that. That's become a part of you. But that is a stepping stone into other things that you are interested in, helping people for one thing. But you already told me that you were a radiologist, a radio X-ray tech. Tell me about that part, because I was a paramedic back in Key Largo, way back in my 20s, many years ago.
I am what you call a shero, a super shero in scrubs, as the way they call us now, fighting the pandemic on the front lines. I am an X-ray tech, or what they call a radiologic technologist. And part of what we do is instrumental. We capture the image of the lungs, and as you know, this horrible pandemic, it ravages the lungs. And when we get a chest x-ray, we're able to see, we can't diagnose the images, but can show the doctors, and they can diagnose the images, and they communicate that information with the patient. And the information that we provide is very much part of the entire care of what we do in an emergency care setting.
Oh, but you can diagnose. Okay, one of the thrills that I had working in the hospital for, I think I was there for 10 years, and it was the middle of the night. I was a tech in the ER, and we'd go to the x-rays, and we'd get them from the x-ray techs, take them to the radiologist, and put them up on the wall for him to look at. And then he'd look at them, usually while we're standing there, we'd have to wake him up first, because it's the middle of the night. Hey, doc, wake up, can you read these x-rays? And he'll go, it looks fine. But then I'd go, what about this hairline fracture here? Oh, yeah, that's the hairline. Good catch. Good catch. Back to bed.
That's outside the scope of my practice. I know what my eyes see, but they're not trained to make a clear diagnosis. Only the radiologist can actually do that.
Yes, by law, the radiologist has more schooling and supposedly better eyes. No, but that was just one time and 10 years that, he missed a little hairline. It was the tiniest thing. Yes, anybody could have missed it on a glance. Yeah, but I thought that was a thrill of my life with the X-ray. In that field that you're in. My only anecdote that I have for X-ray teching.
When you did something, you had that personal satisfaction. Whoa, I made a difference in this person's life. Had it not been my set of eyeballs, the radiologist or another doctor or another provider might have missed that. And that personal satisfaction that I was telling you about, that warm and fuzzy feeling, those are the moments that I get, and I live for that. I just love humanity.
Yeah, just in that job that you do, X-ray tech. People think, oh, what does an X-ray tech do? Just take pictures? Well, essentially, you're taking pictures from the inside, but those are some very important pictures. Some of the old country doctors can lay their hands on you and tell you, oh, I think you got pneumonia just by touching you. But you're going to let them know for sure. I mean, these are important jobs. Do you work in the middle of the night, or are you a day shifter?
So I work nights at one facility, and I take call at another facility. So I'm always working, always working. Oh,
I used to like the night shift, 7 to 7, 3 days a week, no bosses bothering you. And, the X-ray tech was, I guess, the one in our hospital in Miami. They would line them all up, at one time, take a little nap, rest their eyes a little bit, and then line them all up in the hallway. X-ray, 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 X-ray. Boom, done. Take a little nap. You know,
Mhm.
and that when I tell people, when people say, "Hey, I want to be a nurse or I want to be a tech," I say, "Go work in the ER at night, because
Uh, that's right.
treat them,
Exactly.
treat them and street them, treat them and
Treat them,
street."
treat 'em. There you go.
Oh, you're taking me back. These are,
Oh,
you know, we laugh and we giggle, but we know these are important jobs. We definitely
mhm.
are helping people in their most extreme times. I was working in an emergency room in Miami, very busy
Mhm.
hospital, you know, very busy. And I remember, broken legs, broken arms, gunshots coming through, people
Oh yeah.
having all kinds of problems, and without the
Yep.
X-ray tech, and
Nope.
everybody in that emergency room, all working together like a
Yeah.
well-tuned machine. Now, are you in the
Oh,
ER, or wait? I guess X-ray is everywhere in the hospital, right?
right. Where I work nights, usually, right now, especially with the pandemic, if anybody comes in and they exhibit certain signs or symptoms that the provider feels is necessary, a chest X-ray is part of the routine diagnosis that's ordered. Just because it's a way how to rule something out or take a look at it. I mean, there's others testing. There's like the swab in the nose, and then there's other vitals and triage. But like I said, I'm just so honored to be part of the overall care team. And it's hitting us hard. This whole pandemic is it's hard on everybody.
Mhm.
Um, so I guess to ask you is, I know that you're in a different state than I am. How are you, and how are you holding far?
Well, in Arkansas, it feels like business as usual. We have a republic. It's so funny how politicized
Mhm.
a pandemic can become, or any
Right,
disease.
right,
Part of the government wants to hold on to their power and make it bigger. The other part wants to. I think it all wants to get big, but that's political. But we happen to have a Republican governor, and he's done an amazing job.
mhm,
I'm somewhere down the middle politically, but he's done an amazing job where we wear masks, but we still get to go out and play. Just
See,
recently, exactly.
these
Oh,
this is
that's a
one of my
fancy mask.
it is. I have a good friend of mine who is working very well with me, and I'm in the process of trying to get a couple fundraisers going. And what girl does not like Chanel? These are so super cute. So, I mean, I'll get back to that later on, but I just had to throw that in there because I think it's so important that, I mean, we're seeing things about this pandemic on a daily basis, but social distancing, those are, people always refer to us as the he and the sheroes and scrubs, and they said we're the frontline defense. Actually, we're not. The frontline defense is one of these. People need to wear a mask.
But hey, don't sell yourself short. Know your worth and add tax. You are the first line of defense. I remember working in the hospital. I would wear a mask. I would glove up. I never washed my hands more than when I first started working at a hospital. And before that, I was a firefighter in Key Largo. So
Oh
I
wow.
was always in the medical. But as a firefighter, you're getting dirty. You come out smelling like smoke and dirt. But then when you go to the hospital, ooh, everything's so pristine, clean.
Yeah.
I had a doctor in the ER. He used to say cleanliness is number one on people's satisfaction survey list in the hospital.
Correct.
A proper diagnosis probably number 8, somewhere around there. But they want to see that hospital clean. They want the people pristine. Wash your hands, people. Wash your hands. You should have been doing that a long time ago. But we're
Right.
jumping way, way forward. My goodness, we need to get back to 1980 when this little girl from Minsk comes back, with her family, and dad's working as an engineer and mom is a mathematician. Is that right?
No, she's a um, accountant.
An accountant. Knew it was something
Hmm.
with numbers.
Of course.
But 7 years old in Flatbush. The only thing I know about Flatbush is watching the Lords of Flatbush, back one of a 70s film, and they were talking about those ladies on that side of the street and the pharmacists on the other side of the street.
Oh yeah,
pharmacist.
it's
You know,
like it's real,
yeah,
But again, culture shock coming from a different country, different culture, different understanding. I didn't know what it was. I mean, my parents had enough understanding. They were like, we don't know. They were like, all of America can't be like this. So they had enough to. They're like, we gotta, leave Dodge and go somewhere else where it's better to raise two girls.
yeah, two girls. Now, are you the oldest
That's
girl or the youngest girl?
the oldest. I have a younger sister. She also resides here in Maryland.
Well, that was a pretty responsible. You're 7 year old and you're taking care of your little sister. You not only have to
Hmm.
look out for yourself in this crazy town, and not to disparage anybody who's out there in Flatbush. Hey, New York, I like New York. I've never been north of the Mason Dixon. Really, I need to get to New York myself.
New York is beautiful. I gotta tell you, the food. Let me tell you. I know coffee, bagel, pizza. If you go to New York and you don't have those or all three, missing out. You got to go to the Diamond District. You got to go to the shopping district. I mean, there's so much that New York offers. It's just such an eclectic area of culture and music and style and dance and everything. It's like I think it's the birthplace of of just everything fabulous. New York is, awesome. Who doesn't love New York? I have t-shirts saying I love New York.
I gotta humbly disagree. I don't think it's the birthplace, but it's definitely the melting pot. Because
Yeah.
as you said, when back in Minsk, you had your own certain cultures with your own certain foods, and that I feel like wherever you go, the first thing you want to do is taste their food. Look at
Yes.
their art. Look at the paintings. Look at the buildings. Oh, look at the structures that they've built. But the
Right.
food, that is like one of the first things is how you can judge a culture, how satisfying their palates are. And so tell me about the food of Minsk. What's the best food out of Minsk? What's your favorite Minsky food? Belarusian food.
Well, our staple is potatoes. Everything that we eat has potatoes somehow in it. Of course, everybody always likes to stereotype and say, oh, borscht, because it's a Russian soup. Yes, it's a very common popular Russian soup, but it's not the only thing we eat. But my mom my grandmother used to make fresh meals every day. So we grew up in a very, very um, like a traditional way
Mhm.
where, breakfast was fresh, lunch was fresh, dinner was fresh. Here in America, everything is to go, Uber, microwave, yada, yada. So a traditional Russian meal would be, we love caviar. We do. And you would usually have caviar on a blintz, or I guess we call them cream in the United States, with a little bit of butter and a little bit of caviar. That would be like a nice breakfast, a nice black Russian tea. Just to be stereotypical, lunch would be, heartier, some type of a stew, like a meat and a potato stew. We don't really have like meals. There's stuff called pilmeni, which is kind of like Russian style ravioli. And it's, of course, if you go region, it's different. If you speak to somebody who, let's say, came from Siberia or somebody came from Moscow, and you sit down at a table, the variations will be slightly different. Just like if you go to Texas and you order New York style pizza, I can promise you that pizza from Texas is nothing like New York style pizza. And I'm just using that example. That although the food is similar, it's a little bit different from region to
No, I get
we
it.
Belarus is very known for its amber. Amber is a type of stone, and it comes from, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's I forgot the I'm sorry, I forgot the word. It's not molasses, but it's a mineral found in the world on Earth.
I think we know the amber from Jurassic Park with
That's it. Exactly it.
the fly was stuck in the amber, or the mosquito was stuck in the amber, and that's how they got their dinosaurs. But I want to
That's
back
right.
up to some of this food. I need some explanations. I'm a little bit of a fat boy, and I like some food. What is borscht? I've heard of it. I
Borscht
don't know what it
is,
is.
oh, sure. Borscht is a traditional red beet soup. It comes with beets and it's made with stock, usually some of meat, and in there you throw some potatoes. It cooks up, it boils up. Some regions add different types of lentils or rice, or depending on anything. Dill is a constant. Like we put dill in everything, and sour cream. Yeah. So after it cooks, you put it in a nice presentation, nice plate, and you put the sour cream on top, kind of cool down the temperature, and you mix it up, and now the soup looks like pink color, but it is so good.
Served cold or served hot or served warm?
Both.
Okay.
Some regions like it hot, some like it cold. We always had it hot because my grandmother, God rest her soul, she used to always say you need to eat hot food. Like hot food that's how you wake your body up. You need to eat hot food.
That's a good lesson, Grandma.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then, what is a caviar? What does caviar come from? I have an idea, but I'm not sure what it is.
Caviar is basically terms. It's
Fish eggs.
right.
Now, is
And
this something that you get out of a can, or does Dad come home from fishing and tear open a fish and give you some?
out of a can.
Out of a
Caviar. Say that to a Russian person? Oh no 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 no. The caviar we like usually comes from a fish called the sturgeon, and it's the black caviar. It's the little thin pearls, but also caviar comes from salmon, which is red, and the area, that part of Russia in the sea, the area that's very, very common for those, especially for the sturgeon fish, to live. So that's where the caviar is harvested from that fish.
I must have had caviar at some point in my life.
Must have. If you've been to sushi, like a little sushi roll, and it looks like little sesame seeds on top, but it's not sesame seeds, that's caviar.
Yep, and I think I've had some on a cracker, and it's not bad.
And I mean, I'm a little partial, but
Yeah.
I grew up.
Not too shabby. All right.
No.
So that's the food of Belarus. That's the typical meals of Belarus. Now, when you went to New York, was the family still eating that way, or were you bringing in some of that pizza and some of that bagel?
It was a little, like I said, it was a huge culture shock. And when in Flatbush is not known to have a Russian community. There's a huge Russian community in Brighton Beach. But again, being new to the land and the country, you kind of have to figure stuff out. So we had to, meet other people and learn the language. And we discovered some restaurants and some stores that carry food that was reminded us of our hometown. And of course, there's something super nostalgic about eating something comfort food from your childhood. Even to this day, if I get sick or I don't feel well, I'll make a chicken soup the way my grandmother used to make it for me, and I'll just cuddle up and I'll just have my soup and I just feel all better.
That is correct, Bella Levy. Now, I'm from Miami, Florida, which is the biggest suburb of New York. And melting pot, all that. I'm half Cuban, so I grew up on coffee, Bustelo coffee. And if Bustelo wants to give me a sponsorship, go ahead, throw me some ducats, Cafe Bustelo. Then I moved to Conway, Arkansas, just a little bit north of Little Rock, Arkansas. I know Miami technically is more southern, but Conway, Arkansas is the South, the deep South, the Civil War South. And I asked at the grocery store, at the local Kroger, hey, do you have any Bustelo coffee, some espresso? And they looked at me like I was an alien. But I asked and I asked and I asked, and they were very accommodating. And now I believe that my local Kroger carries espresso from Bustelo because of me. And I drink it almost every morning, and that's my little taste of home that I bring with me. So I understand all that every morning.
My parents live in Boca Raton, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
I like Boca. That is a great place to retire.
So that's the 13th commandment. Thou shalt retire and move to Boca. You know that, right?
I told you, South Florida is the biggest suburb of New York. A New Yorker's favorite wine. I want to go to Florida.
Yeah, if you go down there and you see a little delicatessen that says New York style pizza, you better believe it's New York style pizza because that's where it came from.
Yeah. Now, Miami, you can definitely do that. At South Florida, you can definitely do the south of West Palm Beach down. That is South Florida. Any other place is really South Georgia or South Alabama or South. You got to go West Palm Beach down. That's South Florida. But I kid the people of Florida. It's many different regions, far up and down. It's a big state, a really long state, kind of like Texas. You mentioned Texas earlier, going from the east side of Texas to the west side of Texas. Yeah. That's 1,000 miles. That's a lot of distance, and a lot of different cultures, a lot of different tastes, a lot of different styles. But. So you got out of Flatbush after how many years? Did you actually go to one of the PS schools in New York, in Flatbush?
I think we were there just for under a year because my father got it together very quickly and realized that's not where you want to raise small children. And we moved to Maryland.
Oh, these are smart people. I could tell already. Yeah, they spent some time in school and put some smarts in their noggins. But
actually, it's like, do you remember the story Fievel Coming to America? So when I tell you the story, imagine playing that music in the background, like legit, like straight legit. This is exactly what happened. So my father wrote to my grandma, which is his mom at the time, and she said, you have cousins and my dad was like, she's like, okay, let me see if I can contact. And they found out that they lived here so the cousins drove for Thanksgiving. I'll never forget. They drove in this beautiful red Corvette. I'll never forget it. Convertible, not Corvette, I'm sorry. And to me, when I saw that, it was like, it was a dream come true because I've never seen a car like that before. I mean, where would we come from? You know what I mean? And they said, here in America, it's a big holiday called Thanksgiving. We want to invite you so you can come to Maryland, come to our house, meet the rest of our family. Now, the oldest of 5 siblings came to get us. So we spent Thanksgiving in Maryland. My father saw that the park here actually had grass as opposed to a park in New York was just like streets. Why they call it a park, we still don't know, but it is what it is. So, my dad saw Maryland. My dad saw how green it was, how lush it was. My dad saw this would be a perfect place to start raising a family. I was 7 and my younger sister was 3. So we were still very little. And my dad knew that we would have a better chance of having the American dream in an area where you didn't have the girls on one side and the pharmaceutical sales on the other.
Yeah.
Clearly.
No, but you got to Maryland. You're 7 years old, almost 8 years old. I'm almost 8 years old. That's what little kids do. They want to get to that next age. But I'm this many, but I'm gonna be this many in just a couple of months. But you're there. You're young. I'm guessing that the parents, got jobs right away with their skills, and you start school. What are you learning in school? Are you making lots of friends? Are you popular? Are you doing some sports, playing a little, doing some cheerleading? Maybe. What are you doing in school?
Well, actually, school for me was because if you remember, the 80s was the height of the Iron Curtain. that's when relationship between former USSR is called now. Now it's called Russia, but back then it was called the former USSR. The relationship with them and the United States was not the best. So when the kids found out that I was Russian, kids repeat what they're taught at home. So it was hard for me to make friends, and I was bullied a lot because I look different. I mean, my hair is curly, I'm short, I speak a different language, I eat different food, I don't have different understanding. It was hard to adapt. So I just kind of, kept to myself and had to get through it.
Meanwhile, all the older men and women are saying the curly hair, they're going to love that when you get older. You're going to appreciate your looks. You're going to grow into your looks. And my goodness, you just, you're always so awkward trying to find your way in the world. And if you're the slightest bit different, kids are going to nail you. The kids are cruel. So, I mean, were you getting picked on like physically or just getting yelled at, or did you get dumped in a trash can?
I didn't get dumped in the trash can.
Yeah.
Thank God for that. But, sometimes words can be worse than physical actions.
Yeah.
I do remember, I think, of course, boys are boys, and, they mature at a different rate than girls. And do you remember the old trick where you used to take, like, a straw, and you used to take paper off the straw, then you used to, put it inside the straw and, like, blow it out like that? And my hair is a little bit more tame now, but back then it was like this. So if I was like this, my hair would go like that. I mean, I had a lot of it. So this group of young gentlemen would think it would be really cute in the lunchroom to sit behind me and throw those balls in my hair and watch me try to pick it out because my hair was so curly. It was hard to do that.
Oh, so, curly hair is perfect. Perfect for spitballing. Perfect.
Oh, you got it. I would come home and I would try to say like the kids are mean, but I saw how hard my mom was trying to assimilate and create a better for my sister and I. I was kind of like, well, I'm not going to tell them I'm going through because they're having a hard enough time dealing with that. So I suppressed it for a very, very long time, and I just thought that's just the way it's supposed to be. I didn't come to be the larger-than-life personality till much later. Trust me.
All right. Well, I mean, you're a little kid in Maryland. You got some cousins from Belarus. That's got to make you feel a little bit better. So you spend a lot of time with them?
I had cousins from America, but I had no way how to communicate with them because we didn't speak the language.
Oh, so they were already they were already born second, third generation, maybe?
Second or third generation, yeah.
I'm third generation Cuban. I know the blood is starting to thin. My Spanish is terrible, so broken. It was enough down in Miami to do a bilingual radio station. So I would do two songs in English and 2 songs in Spanish, and then when I would speak on the microphone, it was broken Spanish.
Yeah.
It was that way. But I'm guessing you still speak Russian very well?
I do.
Ooh, that's got to help you in life. The Spanish that I do know that I've kept, and kids, learn a second language. It'll get you jobs that you're not qualified for. My whole life. Oh, you speak Spanish? Oh, yeah, come on in. But I don't even know how to do this.
Sí, habla español también. Sí, muy perfecto.
Es necesario para hablar español. Necesito practicar mi español porque estoy perdiéndolo. It's terrible. I'm losing it. Yeah, but I have quite a few Mexican restaurants around here, so I get to talk with the Mexicans around, and they speak Spanish much better than my Cuban Spanish, for sure. No disrespect to the Cubans out there.
Working in a hospital setting, you almost have to speak the language, and I find it. I love the fact that I can communicate with somebody that comes in not knowing the language. What's going on. People are coming at you with all kinds of things. I can relate to that because I was that kid. Yeah. I was that person. I was the immigrant that you come to a foreign land and you don't feel good. People are talking to you. And here's the funny thing I found out about some people. When you don't speak the language, they speak louder to you. And I'm like, I'm not deaf. I just don't understand what you said. It's not that I can't hear you. You can increase the decibel 35 million ways. I still no entiende.
I think they learned that in movies and cartoons. I have a herd in my side-o.
Right. To this day, well, now when I go to work, I'm all covered up. Like when my typical day starts at work, I wear a N95 mask, then I wear another mask on top, then I wear a shield, which I'm going to tell you about a shield that I got from my friends at View Shield that found out about me. This is so awesome. I'll show it to you. I'm going to open it while I tell you about it.
Yeah.
So I wear the shield, and then I wear the gown. So when people see me at work, all they do is just see the eyeballs.
Wait, where's the room for the crown, Bella? I know you got to wear that to work.
I can't. They don't let me. But first of all, so my friends from this shield company, right? This is the best shield ever on the market.
Holding up a box from View Shield for the people that are listening to the audio only. VUE Shield.
VUE Shield. And it comes like in a nice bag. And it's so pretty. And when you come out, look at it. It is gorgeous.
Oh, my goodness.
It doesn't weigh anything. It's so lightweight. It is so lightweight. And when you put it on.
Wow. It puts on like glasses, like sunglasses.
I feel like you're on the moon. But I'm telling you, I don't know if you can see it sideways.
Oh, yeah.
Sideways. Yeah, so it's most masks fall short because they stop here. But this kind of concave, so it keeps what you need to do. So it keeps this together. You can still see the tiara.
Oh, yeah. It looks like a shield from a spaceman. A spaceman shield. Yeah.
And I mean, I wish I could show you. It's so thin. And literally, you can't feel it because with the N95 and the other mask, Lord knows there's enough on here.
Oh, yeah.
But I love the fact that you communicate to your patients. And first of all, it's anti-fog.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to worry about it. Because unfortunately, when most patients see you, this is what they see.
Yes.
It's hard. It's hard.
One of the podcasts that I'm listening to, it's amazing how much you lip read while you're listening. Some people, they've gone deaf over the years, especially as your hearing goes. A lot of people lip read, and you need to have that. I could see teachers using a few shield like that because the kids, they get scared of seeing somebody in a mask. You want to see a face.
Yeah. And it's so important. So, like I said, I love my friends. Here they are, View Shield. They found out about me. I found out about them. We talked, and they sent it to me, and love it. I love it. I use it when I go out. I use it when I don't know. I'm talking to you. I'm using it.
Yeah.
If I go out in public, and people can still see me. You could wear your makeup. Well, not you, because you're a guy. Don't do that. But if you did, that's okay.
Why not? You got a problem with that? I forgot to put my eyeliner on today. I need to put some lipsticks. I have a show.
But I'm just saying, I've been through a lot of masks, and that is probably the best. And again, everybody should check this out.
Yep.
It's the best.
This portion of the podcast brought to you by View Shield, VUE, by Joe Doucette. Doucette?
Joe Doucette is the designer. And if you go on the website on Instagram, read all about him, and he'll tell you the story of how he came up with it. And it is amazing. I'm telling you, I've never found a mask that was so light. And you put it on, and it's clear, and you don't feel it. That's the thing. It's so lightweight.
Well, it's amazing the fashion accessories that we have to talk about in 2020, and here we are.
I love Christian Louis Vuitton. Don't judge. Every princess needs one. And when you first open it, it's that brown box, and you get all excited. It's like the Louis Vuittons of masks. So you can't go wrong with that.
So I'm guessing Joey Doucette is an engineer like your dad, right?
Correct. And I guess you're looking him up while
No, I'm
speaking.
not. I'm looking at you. I'm not. I have my hands here. My hands have not left the end of my arms.
There you go.
No, I'm getting all my information from you. Whenever I do these podcasts, I want to learn from the person and stay engaged with the person that I'm talking to. And Bella Levy, I'm learning from you, man. I've learned about Belarus. I've learned about X-ray techs. I've learned about the cool shields. Have you? Okay, one of my friends, who's a nurse down at Jackson Memorial in Miami, she got her COVID-19 shot. I don't remember which, if she mentioned which one it was. It was the Moderna or the I guess maybe Johnson & Johnson or the BioNTech. I don't know which one she took, but she had a certificate for her first one. Have you taken these the vaccination, or are you going to?
That is still on the fence about it. We are highly encouraged as frontline warriors to take them. There's different companies that do make them. I think Pfizer is one of them. Please don't quote me wrong. But the protocol is you get a shot, they monitor you for about a half hour, and then you get another shot 2 weeks later. And that should complete the process. So at first I was kind of on the fence about it, but then I started thinking about it, and I think I will go ahead and get the shot, only because the only thing I ever want to bring home from work is a paycheck. That's it.
And a little light went up, bling, from your teeth. Ding.
That's right. Like, 'cause I'm telling you, when this pandemic hit, I didn't know what was going on, and I, created like a bunker, and I had like a whole system. Like, I come in the house, and I would tell my kids, I got to wash the hospital off, and you take everything off, and you're just horrified because you're fighting something that's invisible. And at the time when this happened, which was, I think at the time that I reached out to you or you reached out to me, I wasn't sure, because this was when I was revving up for the East last year. We didn't really know too much about this, except for the fact that, you're fighting like a deadly thing. And it's literally annihilating half the planet.
Yeah. When I come in off the streets, I immediately wash the COVID off me. Same idea. But okay. So before Bella Levy became fabulous and a beauty queen, you were you were in Maryland, shaping who you become today. How did you get out of that awkward stage where the kids were picking on you for your curly hair and your Russian accent, and how did you get out of that awkward phase? Who was instrumental in pushing you in the right direction, and what direction did you go in cruising through school?
I just knew that I just needed to study. And I was a nerd, like a straight out legit geek nerd, which brings me to my next subject, which I'm going to tell you in a minute.
That's right. How so? Tell me about your nerdiness.
Right. I love math, because if you understand math and you understand science and you understand physics, you understand the world, because that's what it all. If you understand how those principles work alike, it's like nobody can explain physics except math, because you can't just see physics. Physics is explainable by math. Math is international. Anybody can, 2 sticks equals 4 sticks, and 2 stones equals 4 stones. Everybody understands what that is. You don't need to speak a certain language. And I developed a friendship with one of my classmates. And, as time goes on, sometimes, you lose contact, you gain contact. And then through Facebook, we were able to reconnect and, with a lot of my classmates. And I told her what I was doing for the pageant. She was so excited she was very supportive of me, and she decided to sponsor me pageant last year in DC. And as a result of her contribution, I was awarded the sponsorship award because, me being who I was, and my platform at the time was women empowerment, because I did believe in that, and I still do, that I believe that when women come together for a greater purpose than themselves, amazing things happen. Just amazing, amazing things.
What do you think of Kamala?
I think the fact that she is the first vice president, the first woman of color, the first minority, is such a breakthrough for women all around. Like I said, I don't talk religion because people can feel very specific in certain ways. But the fact that she is living history, I love that.
Oh yeah, I don't talk religion or politics either. But you're Jewish. Let me.
Yes.
No, my grandfather, he was a Jewish Cuban, a Jubin.
Oh.
I never got bar mitzvahed. I always felt like I got cheated on that. But I DJ a lot of parties in West Palm Beach. A lot of bar mitzvahs I got to be a part of on the turntables as part of the entertainment. So yeah, I appreciate that, man. But all right, no religion or politics. That's funny, but you have to if you're a part of this of the human race. Religion and politics is going to affect you in some way, whether you believe it or not. And if it's a part of you, if something shapes you. I've had people that have preached a sermon on this podcast, and I go, preach on, do it, do your thing. Tell me about your.
I want to show you my pageant book, and I think I left it upstairs when I was getting ready. Can I kindly ask you to excuse me for 2 seconds?
Do 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 do. Do, 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 do.
That's what my friends made for me.
Yeah, no, man. So far so good. This is great. I apologize for anyone that's listening. Some of the audio might be spotty because I'm in a new place, a temporary place that has really patchy internet. So, but so far so good. I'm getting the main points of Bella Levy, and she is stylish. I like that crown. So if you're listening to the audio version, go check out the video version on YouTube. Now, that might take a while for me to upload it.
Sorry.
No way. I was just entertaining myself talking about my spotty internet that I currently have moved from a place that has great internet to a place that has patchy internet. But Miss DC America, you got a book.
And I got the back cover.
What?
And let me show you a couple of other pictures. I actually had the support of the veterans.
Oh, that is beautiful.
All of these can be found on my social media pages. I am on Instagram and Facebook. That's also another one of me.
With your full name, Isabella. Now, do you go by Isabella or Bella mostly?
I like Bella because it's a family name. And honestly, people see the Z and they want to call me Elizabeth. Go figure.
No, that's a beautiful way of spelling Isabella. Yeah. I can imagine your mom when you were a little girl. Isabella, go clean your room.
It was just Bella. There.
Oh, so it's been Bella your whole life then.
It's a family name. So let me see what other pictures I had. Oh, and this was my favorite. This is a little bit of my story.
What is happening? You scored.
And this was important for me to outline because that was my very first pageant, and how I got to that I'll tell you shortly. And that was a little bit of bio about who I was. And the reason I selected Capitol Hill is because I was the president of my professional society, and I participated in a program called RT, meaning Logic Technologist, in DC, and we were in Capitol well, because that's where you make all the decisions. So in this little book was a little bit about me and who I do, and then I loved this picture. I loved it.
That is
It
amazing.
kind of, yeah, it just kind of shows, my duality about, what I was about and what I was doing.
Girl, that picture that looks like you can hawk whatever item, whatever you were holding in your hands, people are going to go buy that, because that's a photo that's quality. Listerine, Lysol,
Yeah,
makeup, whatever you're holding, I'm going to buy some of that. That's
I
quality.
I love the way you think,
Oh, high quality, high quality.
So, oh
But
yeah, there you
but
go.
how did you make it? Okay, all right, you were a math nerd, you were a science nerd. You get out of school. Were you that straight A student? Were you kept to yourself? And do you have any friends that you made out of school that?
I mean, now that we're, as adults, and now that we're all parents, and now that we're smarter, we reconnected. And actually, I had one young lady reach. I had no idea who she was, and she sent me a message on Facebook Messenger, and she said, "You probably don't know who I am, but I know I treated you really poorly, and I just want to say I'm sorry." And I don't know who she was. I felt like, you know, if it's like if you were not in a clique, you just were not in a clique. And it was just hard for me to kind of find my own way. So I kind of dived in to the mathematics and into the physics, but my number one love was poetry. And I love writing poetry. I love it, love it, love it.
Another
I love,
facet of Bella. We got to explore this.
oh,
Tell me about the poetry.
I can write about anything. And I'm a Piscean. So my actions are sometimes governed by my emotions. I'm a very much of an empath. Too much sometimes. Too much. But I write about my emotions, my feelings, and I think that was very therapeutic for me, was to write a poem about how I was feeling, because I felt like I didn't come home and tell my parents what was going on, because they were trying just to, you know, make it, you know what I mean? Working and trying to sustain life, and to come home and say, "Oh, I had a bad day because some kid picked on me." In the grand scheme of things, that was not a priority for our family at the time. A priority at the time was, you know, dad is out there working, mom is working, they're trying to take care of bills, they're trying to, you know what I mean? Just like every day. Everybody always tells you that it's an American dream, which is true. America is probably not probably, is the best country to have that dream come true. And you can have whatever you want. You have to work for it.
Yeah,
And that's it.
yeah. It's not going to be handed to you.
No,
But
not at all.
no, but you are a smart kid to come home and be responsible, and oh yeah, I had a rough day, but I'm not going to bother the parents with that, because
Right.
that takes a lot, because most kids are don't have any idea about what their parents are doing, and it's all about them. It really can be self-centered as a child, and it should be to some extent. It should be
Right.
all about the kids, especially around their birthday and holidays and stuff. Yes, they should
Yeah.
get whatever they want. Spoil your kids rotten if you get a chance. But you were smart. You were a smart kid, and you saw, hey, mom and dad were just trying to make their ends meet, and you realized that even at that young age, that all the bullying in school, it'll pass. All that stuff will pass. You stick with your studies.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I just cried my face out.
Believe it.
But I can't be the only one. There was a lot of other kids that were bullied, and still are. And I guess the writing for me was so therapeutic. And I guess later on in life, being part of a pageant was almost my own healing and trauma, because I felt like I was never accepted
Yeah.
as a child. And that led me to even, take on something like this was I was part of a trip called Momentum. And it was a journey. It was a 7-day journey to Israel. And I was connected with other moms. And I was like, okay, Israel, I definitely want to go. That's why I got my little necklace right here. I don't know if you could see it. It's super pretty. Because if it wasn't, I would have never bought it. So obviously, and I wear it. Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever been to Israel before.
No.
But I encourage, you have, you said?
No. Never been out of these continental United States.
Well, when all this COVID stuff clears up, my man, you need to go.
I'll explore the Jewish side of my roots, I guess. Head that way. And it's not just a Jewish thing, too. The Mecca is for everyone.
Yes. When they tell you the most spiritual place on earth, it's true. I'm not too terribly religious, but I'm very spiritual, very. I've been, vibrations and frequency and karma, and that's just how I operate like that. So when we went to Israel and we went to the Kotel, which is another way of calling the Western Wall, and you put your hand on the wall, and like this energy flows through you, and all of a sudden you're like, I gotta do. And I enjoyed my time. Look, the food was amazing. People were amazing. I just fell in love. I felt like I was home. I came home, I unpacked, and then I opened up, I think it was Facebook, and I saw an ad saying, do you want to be the next queen? And I'm like, yeah. Just like that. Filled out the application, sent it off, no problem. And then I'm thinking, like the inner child in me is like, what are you doing? Like beauty queens are for pretty girls with straight hair.
But how long ago was this that you were applying for your first pageant? How long ago was that? Last year. Okay.
Yeah.
Last year.
2020.
That's your first pageant ever?
Ever in my life.
Reverse? You were this awkward kid. No. What are you doing?
I know. I was a very awkward looking kid. When I think of beauty queen, I don't look like them. Usually they are like this polished, gorgeous, tall, straight hair. Let me emphasize straight hair. Skinny, very thin, beautiful skin, blonde. That's one spectrum. And on the spectrum, you have like gorgeous African American women. And I'm like, I don't look anything like that. I always, it's funny, but I always get mistaken for, these are the cultures I always get mistaken for. Latina, Italian, Greek, Middle Eastern, and usually anything between them. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? First of all, I have a daughter that looks just like me. I mean, just like me.
Lucky girl.
Thank you. Acts just like me too, but she
gotta keep that man straight.
That's good. That's good because she doesn't take no crap from nobody, and I love she has that strong spirit. Like when she gives me that fire, not so much. When she gives it to someone else in the world, I'm not loving that. I'm like, you go, girl.
She got chutzpah.
You're right. You're so good about that. So I was like, you know what? I'll be an example for my daughter. But not only that, there has to be so many other cultures of women that don't look like the generic, what you think of a beauty queen is, that wants to turn on the television and just say, she looks like me. Maybe I can do it. And that's why my platform was last year, Woman Empowerment. Because women have to unite. When women come together, magic happens. Period. It's just, you can come from different walks of life and different planets and countries, but when we all get together for a common cause, we're good.
Oh, that's fabulous. I didn't even know it was only 1 year. I figure you've been doing pageants ever since you were a kid,
No.
Grew up in this.
I made it to the semifinals. I didn't place in the top 4. The pageant was supposed to be held at a place called the Kennedy Center, which here in DC, it's like, a big stuff. Like they got the red carpet and everything. If you go on my Facebook, you'll see a video there. But due to this, COVID thing, which is I think around the same time that I met you, and I was like, oh my God, let me do a podcast like next week. And you're like, yeah, how about December? And I'm like, okay.
I know. This thing got busy. I started it a couple years ago, and it just gets busier and busier. But I'm happy to talk to you. My goodness, this is great. So you were saying?
I didn't make it to the top 4, and I tell people that was like the worst, best day of my life. The pageant went. It was viral, virtual. Yeah, it was like a Zoom conference. So try to imagine putting a production of that caliber on a Zoom type of protocol. So the pageant director, I give her so much respect. She tried so hard to try to make it an experience for all of us. I've never been on a stage a day in my life. Oh, I was so my friend Sheila, the owner of Ooh La La Salon. She's been doing my hair forever. So both her and Annie, they decided in the middle of a pandemic that we're going to shut down the entire salon and create a stage for me. They ordered black curtains and a red carpet. So when it was my turn, they tried to give me as much of the Kennedy Center experience as possible. And I was just so touched. The hospitality and even hair salons are struggling because, the COVID laws, you can't have like normal capacity. And she just stopped. She just said, no more people. I want you to have the run of the entire salon, do whatever you want. And I was just like so touched. So the way that my morning started is I went to see my glam squad, and I went to see Axel Vargas, and he is an amazing makeup artist. And I'm going to use a colloquial term that everybody will understand. He snatched my face so good, I looked like I was 20. It was amazing.
All right, you're going to have to explain. You kids with your lingo, what does he snatch your face?
It's a way of saying like he made me look fabulous.
Like the best you can look using makeup techniques and such?
Oh my God. I mean, I can't say enough about him. And how I found out about him was through my friend Justina Prince, who's a local artist. And she also did Gigi McMillan, who's the founder of Purple Runway. And I started to slowly build my army. Actually, I can't take the credit. I started to slowly build my army. I think that people started to find out what I was doing, and they're like, we don't know what that girl's doing, but she got positive energy, and she's trying to make things happen. Let's see what we can do. And I loved the support. I actually got support from Sam Rodriguez, who's very, 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 very visible here in the DMV in the salsa community, because I love salsa dancing. Because again, dance is international, just like music. And with his help, and as well as also the help of Joe Falero Band, they, wherever they performed, they allowed me to come on their platform and just to say a couple of words. And hi, I'm Bella. This is what I'm doing, and I would love to support. And the salsa community really embraced what I was doing. Really, really did. And I was so grateful for, all of that. And, it just to see how much people came out and supported me. I, especially being, first time pageant. So then, of course, the pandemic hit and everything just went upside down. So like I was telling you, I didn't make it to the top 4. And I literally was devastated because I was like, oh my God, all this for nothing. because I really wanted to make a difference. But I didn't know what type of I was making while I was making it. So I caught the eye of this lady who I hold in a very high regard. Her name is Andrea Harris, and she's a local movie producer, director, actor, writer, screener, I mean, everything. And she reached out to me and she said, would you be interested in doing a movie? And this was like, the emotions were still raw from not even placing in the top 4. I saw her message in my inbox for days. I didn't even respond because I felt like I didn't want to face the world because I felt like I was like, ugh, horrible. And finally, I was like, well, let me reach her. Say. So I met up with her. She gave me a script. We read it, and I said, where do I audition? And she goes, you just did. And she gave me the part of a character called Rosa Diaz. The movie was called Vengeance is Mine. And it's based on, I don't want to give it away too much, but I realized I had a voice because I was asking about my character. I said, well, this young lady, her name is Rosa. What is she? What did she do? Like, tell me what's going on. And I asked her, and Rosa was supposed to have a different ending. And I said, you know, my platform is women empowerment. Can you not just be a statistic? So she was like, well, that's just the way the movie was written. Like, oh my God, I pissed off the. You do that. So called me back a few days later and said, I'm emailing you a new. And I read it and I cried. And I think for the first time I realized, I'm like, wow, I have a voice. Like something I thought made a difference. To me, a movie is a message. You know, we all go to movies and we have like that good fuzzy feeling, like, oh, it was so good, they fell in love, you know, like that kind of stuff. So the fact that I was part of something that was bigger than me, I like that.
Yeah, I didn't even know until I perused. I'm looking up some things. I don't really do a lot of research for these. I like to learn from you. But you've done 4 movies. When did that start? When did you? Okay, 3 movies. But when did that start happening? Was that something that you've done for a little bit?
Well, the pageant was last year in July.
Okay.
And the very first movie I did was in August.
Okay, so what was the Operation Candlelight and the November Criminals? I don't.
You know, I don't know where that came from.
Okay.
IBDM credit.
Yeah.
That's the. But I also know that if you Google Bella Levy, there's a whole bunch. Because I would have remembered being part of a movie like that.
Okay, so that none of that was yours. So Vengeance is Mine was your first movie?
No, yeah. Vengeance is Mine was my very first movie, and that was like in August. And then just a few months later, Andrea reached out to me again, and she collaborated with Pam Edwards, and it was based on a real life story called Under His Control. And the fact that I was playing a character of somebody who had a real life story, that meant so much to me, and I wanted to do the best that I possibly could. So the very first movie that I did, I told my daughter she was going to be part of it because she was like, Mom, I don't want any part of it. Like, yeah, well, my job as a parent is to expose you to everything. So she did the movie. I told her, but she said, Mom, this is your dream, not mine. I don't want to do this ever again. And I respected her. You know, I really wanted to, I even, like, I'm very proud of the fact that I exposed her to that environment because you never know where a door or a window can lead to. And she did it, and she did great, and the cast and crew received her very well. But she's like, Mom, okay, I'm good at it, but I don't like it. And I stopped right there.
Well, you as a parent, you're putting tools in their toolbox. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And she doesn't like it? Okay, next.
Right. And I met some amazing people doing those 2 movies. I have some things written down so I won't forget, because I can't forget. I know that this segment is called What Makes You Famous, but I think it's really important to point out the people that helped me get to where I am. And like I always said, I am just a small seed. Well, like I just saw that. I'm just a small little rhinestone, not seed. I'm just a small little rhinestone in the soil. And it's because of all these people's love and attention and believe in me that I'm able to grow and be who I am. So on those 2 movie sets, I was so lucky to work with Andre Harris and Pam Edwards and Money and Toby, Nakia Dillard. I was so lucky just to name a few, and Robert Blaze. There's just so many people, and I was so intimidated because here I am. I'm like, wow, like you're famous, and I was like, I just don't want. And I was okay. It was new for me, but I loved it. It was just it opened a side to me that I never knew that I would love so much. So on the day of the pageant, and well, I don't think on my Facebook you'll see a couple pictures. I had this warm that wasn't natural. Trust me. My friend Lauren Pizzano, it's spelled like pizza but with an O. Pizza. She owns this amazing tanning service where she comes to your house, right? She will set up a tent. She will spray you, and that's it. And I was like, oh my God. Because I didn't want to go to a tanning salon because you get the yucky orange stuff between your hands, and it's not fabulous. But my girl, she hooked me up. So shout out to my girl Lauren. Love her to pieces. And then the third movie was called Bustin' Loose. And the person that, I don't know if I reached out to him or he reached out to me. I don't remember. But his name was Romel Morales. And I played a office person. And I think you saw on my Facebook that I was actually sitting there and because I got shot. Well, I wasn't the only one. Everybody in the office got shot. And I'm not going to give away the movie. But again, I got to work with people that I've seen on TV. I'm like, oh my God. You on TV before, and like you're here right in front of me. I was like I didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, act right. And I'm like, well, how are you supposed to act when you meet somebody like super famous? And these people, so amazing, so humble, so normal, just welcome me into their thing. And the one thing that they've been telling me, they're like, Bella, you really have a good knack for this. You're really good at this. And I was like, I love it. And I guess it's like a way that, by acting, you get to escape. For me, doing the acting now, doing the pageant now, and also I had to give a big shout out to my friend Linda. She did my very first photo shoot. We were out in Loudoun County, Virginia. Those things, believe it or not, help me cope with what's really going on in the world right now. I know it sounds crazy. I know it does, but I'm able to find and do what I need to get done. You know what I mean? It's like an escape.
Bella, I love that you light up when you're talking about these things. If this is bringing you joy, I want you to keep on doing this. Don't stop. And I know that it all comes from the energy that you felt in the Holy Land. You take this trip. That was a turning point in your life.
Yep.
Yeah, you've gone to school. You're an X-ray tech. You got some smarts. You got a day job that helps pay the bills. That's fine. But and then you got there and you felt that energy. I understand energy. I've worked on stages that are old stages, and they put me and my DJ equipment up there on that stage. Oh, B.B. King was up here. The Rolling Stones were up on this stage. Oh, Bruce Springsteen was on this stage years ago, and you could feel those energies. I've never, and I know when I go to churches, whether I believe in that religion or not, I could feel those energies. The old buildings, the old
then just
history.
people in my neighborhood, people in my social circle just started coming out. They're like, Bella, I'm not sure what you're doing, but how can I help? And when somebody says that to you, you're like, oh my God, you believe it. Even when I'm not sure of myself, but you believe in me. And I'm like, well, okay, let's, let's collaborate. Let's work together. And I've had Prince, who owns the Mint Room, delivered 3 or 4 meals started. And it's like the best authentic Indian food ever in Howard. I'm telling you, it is the best. Obviously. And then my friend Iman from Kosheri, which is Egyptian food, did the same thing in the middle of a pandemic. She actually provided us on Mother's Day. She rolled up to the hospital and made sure we were all eating. And I was like, oh my God, like, I had no words. First of all, I was happy that the community was reaching out, but I was also happy that I was able to share this platform with my fellow superheroes and sheroes in Scrubs. And I do have to say that now that I'm running for Maryland, Janelle Wright, who's my pageant coordinator, she's been so good. She's been so good with me. She's been helping me try to, you live and learn, you make mistakes. I'm surrounding myself with, I have like a huge army of people that I just have to thank. Rick Corrales is my, he's doing such a great job for me. Just good job, Rick. I love it. Rodney Blanche is care of and helping me still learn the digital world and the fact that, he's trying to go out his way and helping me set up my own website, which should be up and running soon. And I want people to follow me on my social media. My Instagram handle is Belichka, because Belichka in Russian is a cute way of saying cutie pie, or like Belichka. It's a nice way of saying in the fit way to call you like sweetie. 2021.
I thought it was a funny way of saying like Bella Chica without the I in there, but Belechka. Okay, I get it.
Cute way of saying, because when my family, when they talk to me and they want to just let me know that they really love me, they'll say, and so instead of calling me Bella, they'll say Belichka. And that makes you feel like, oh, sweet. It's like, I don't know how you say it in language. Like, oh, que linda.
Que linda. That's right. How sweet is that? Now I'm getting another good vibe from you. That's what you're doing. You send out the good vibes, and the people want to gravitate towards you. That's fantastic.
I met an amazing trainer. He owns KU Fitness. His name is Dameron Kirby, and he's helping me get pageant ready, and I love him. I saw him earlier today. So yes, my arms are hurting me. But I love it. Or like me and him, we joke around like, oh my God, it hurts so good. And then I ran into a local music person. His name is Ron G. Owns a clothing line called Role Model. And of course, when I heard that, I'm like, oh, I got to be part of that. So me and him are going to collaborate. And because my platform now is human trafficking, we are going to try to work together to try to create a separate project. I cannot forget my friend who gave me this mask. He has a pop-up shop. His name is Theodore, and he's going to help try to create more, except we're going to try to get them more geared towards, human trafficking and try to get fundraising. And so I can doing the things that I need to get done. I am so to work with Kaidi, who is going to be this amazing. Well, I'm not going to even put it out because it's a surprise. But you'll have to see, and you'll just follow my progress, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Also, I can't forget my friend Aaron from Couch Chat, who did my very first interview, and I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? He was like, Bella, just be yourself. And it worked really, really well. One of the other things is I did mention modeling, and I got the attention of Mr. Junior Vipant, who owns Vogue Runway in New York. And I'm supposed to go down there next month, and we're going to see what we can do over there.
You're
And
heading
that's
back
all
to New York.
back to New York because I am 5 foot fabulous. Again, models don't come my size. Models are usually like 5'11", and they don't look like me. But I'm
Yes,
five
they do.
foot,
Obviously, they do. Look, you're a model. Hey, they look like you.
and
No,
I've
that's
met some
fantastic.
amazing people like Shannon Lanier and Michael Clarkstar, and also my friend David Arm. He wrote this book, and he sent it to me, and we speak all the time, and he inspires me because he has a unique story. So if anybody gets a chance to check out this book, it's called Why Me, and Dave Arm, one of my Facebook friends, he's doing such amazing things. So now that I got all that out of the way, I wanted to tell you what I'm doing now. So now that I'm competing, my platform is human trafficking. To me, is modern slavery. And to me, it is a plague, not only here in England, in the United States, but all over the world. And the system that I'm competing in, and here's my local thing, it's actually an international system.
Oh,
So
so
I
Miss
like that.
Howard County.
Howard County, that's where I reside in, correct. Human trafficking is not okay. It is not okay. Sorry, I don't want to get emotional, but I can't not to because I feel so passionate about it. It's not okay to sell another human being. It's not okay to treat someone like they don't matter. It's not okay to devaluate somebody. It's not okay to rip someone from their family. It's not okay to take a child away. It's not. Those things are not okay. And if I can find myself in a platform where I can bring awareness and education and I can help save one life, just one. I know I myself cannot stop human trafficking. But if I can help save one life, I would be okay with that. I was actually privy to a conversation. I was, you know, I watched how the whole story unfolded. And I was like, oh my God, from the time that they discovered this young lady was missing till the time of they couldn't find her, and how her family could have, the emotion. I'm a mother, so I think the worst thing that any parent can ever have is knowing something happened to your child. So I felt very passionate about that. I feel that those people don't have a voice, and I reflected back to when I was that poor child and nobody spoke for me. And I find myself in a position where I can speak for somebody else. And no, I can't bring upon peace with the switch of a hat. I wish I could. But if I can help save one person, I would feel that paycheck of the heart that I was telling you about. I became an ambassador of hope for International, and they are an organization that deals with human trafficking. I was so honored that they gave me the honor so I can continue with the education of the public, and I can continue with trying to be an advocate for that. I was also part of Hope Work, which is here in Howard County, and they deal with human trafficking at the local level. And they invited me part of what's called Red Sand Project. And what you do is you go up to the office buildings and they give you a little bag of red sand. Like, you remember when you used to go to the fair and they used to give you that little goldfish in like a bag and you're like, ooh, this thing, and then in the morning you're dead. But you know what I mean, like
I get
those
it.
types like Ziploc bags. And then you would go to the county offices and most asphalt is made like by brick. And you could actually Google it. It's actually beautiful. The lady that created this project was actually a survivor. So what you would do about it, a meeting with them tomorrow, I believe, you take this red sand and you pour it between the cracks. And that's to signify that these people, each grain of sand is a person in our society, in our community, somehow fell between the cracks. So when everything is done, the entire road, like imagine the yellow brick road, but it's red. But just the significance of it. When I heard about that, I was like, I have to be part of it. I have to find a way how we can make a difference. And I love the fact that I can educate and continue to educate my medical community, mandated reporters. And with what's going on now, maybe, we're so busy we don't see what to look forward to. But the fact that now I can share what I know with them. And like I said, if I can just save one life, that to me would mean. And that's one of the reasons. Hold on one second. That's one of the reasons. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, he was trying to call.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons why I chose the platform that I did, is because I don't know. We as human beings have to love each other a little bit. We have to, look at this pandemic that's killing us. Look at the weather that's killing us. Look at everything that's killing us. Got to be so much kinder to each other. Mm-hmm. We just have to love each other. And if no one watches out for that little girl or little boy, then who's going to watch out for my little girl or my little boy? I have a son. I have a daughter. I'm very aware of what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And I know in a time our world is uncertain, we have to heal it. We absolutely have. I don't want to have like a whole big kumbaya moment here. But,
no, but there's so many people that don't know that there's still slavery in this world. It's mostly little girls as far as I understand, but I think there's a lot of little boys that are getting taken and put into slavery as well, this human trafficking. So this is something that's getting brought to light. I've seen a lot about this in recent times. I'm glad you're a part of it, but continue.
And you know what? People feel uncomfortable when you start to talk about a topic that they don't want to talk about. But you know what? It's time. It's time that we talk about the ugly. Humans are beautiful people. And there's so much beauty in humanity, but there's ugliness in humanity too. I find myself in a new role. And, I love this new platform of a pageant that gives me exposure, that I can continue to fight for what is right. Because I, as a mother, I honestly don't even know how I would handle. I have to be sedated in order to handle, God forbid, if somebody gave me bad news that something happened to my child. I really don't know how I would handle. And if I know that's how I handle, I don't want another that way.
No.
And then I imagine that child scared, alone, awkward, not knowing what's going on. I know what that feels like, immigrating to this country and not knowing the land and just trying to just be quiet and do what they say just to get by and get through. Yeah, I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm just an emotional person. I'm a Pisces, and I'm fabulous, but I'm emotional too. You know what? You heard this is going to be so funny. You heard the rap star Cardi B?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'll tell you why I like her. I like her because her work ethic is amazing. She hustles. She does everything. She's always grinding. She is working. My daughter said, Mommy, she curses too much. Which, yes, she does, but she's expressing herself in the only way she knows how. So she made a statement once that I loved, And she said, I'm an emotional gangster. And I thought that was cute. And I'm like, yeah, because I could be gangster if I needed to be, but I'm also very sensitive too. And if I can find all these gifts that have been bestowed on me, and like I said, if I can make a difference in one person's life, I would feel that warm fuzzy that, that I was about. So it's not me that makes me famous. It's all these people that help me, that believe me, told me, it's okay, I love you, you're okay. We believe you. You can do this. And they deserve the recognition just as much as I do.
Well, Bella Levy, Belachka, 2021. I'm glad you gave credit where credit is due. You gave shout outs to everyone. You know that it's not just you. It takes a village.
It takes a village to raise a. That's right.
Yeah. So I know I'm one person, but I know that I need other people to get to get to places, and we got to help each other along the way. There was a time in my life I don't feel like I helped people as much as I could, but the older I get, I know I need to help more people.
Well, I wanted to tell you, if you're ever in this side of town, come March 6th, I would love for you to be my guest at the pageant.
Well, that led me to my one of my last questions as we wind this thing down. March 6th, that will be your next pageant where you'll be representing D.C. No, this is the county, Howard County,
or Maryland,
Mrs. Maryland, the international pageant that you're a part of, and I'm. Correct. You blew my mind when you said you've only been doing this for a year, and this year has been a whirlwind. While everybody else is in a pandemic, you're making movies, you're becoming a beauty queen and becoming more fabulous, and you're helping people along the way as they give you items. You're making sure that you give shout outs for those items. Hey, this is a shield that this guy gave me. This is a mask I got. This is
I have to say. Speaking of beauty, I cannot forget my best friend, Jennifer. She is the owner of Urbana Advanced Aesthetics. She makes all this happen. So Jen, I love you. Thank you for keeping me 29-ish.
Well, Belachka, applause. And I know that we've only scratched the surface of you. We really, I've taken a lot of time. I know that your family's out there wanting some of your attention, and I'm happy that you have them.
But it's okay. If I show up like this, they know I was probably doing something. I'll just change into scrubs when I get there. It's all good.
Oh, you got work coming up tonight?
Yeah, I work nights. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I used to do 7 to 7, right? I guess you're doing 11 to 7.
11 to 7. Yep, that's Night Rider.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, you go help the people, diagnose them, and go ahead.
I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to just be on your show. And like I said, I welcome everybody who's listening to this podcast. People can reach out to me and support me. I am on Facebook on Bella, Bella, Levy, Levy. And on Instagram, it's BellaChka 2021. The other website that I have, it's almost complete, but once that's up and running, it will be on my social media platforms.
Well, I'll make sure that I put those socials on the show notes so people know where to go to get to you.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, I like the heart thing. This is beautiful. Do you have a Twitter by any chance?
No, but is that like cool kids are doing?
I don't know. Those are the big four that I have is the YouTube, the Twitter, the Instagram, and the Facebook. And I guess I'm on Twitch now. So with the gaming that I've been doing. But that's another story.
TikTok. So still, like I said, I'm so old school that I'm still trying to figure this
We're
out.
kids of the 80s.
My email address is AOL. That tells you how old school I am.
Yeah, my
And if
email
anybody,
address is AOL. KeysDAN at
if,
AOL.
if anybody wants to email me, my email address is Bella X-ray, BLLAXRAY at AOL.com. And I will get back. I know, I'm so old school. You know, the little AOL guy running to yeah.
I thought I was the last guy on AOL. It's KeysDAN at AOL. Yeah.
No. So again, thank you so much. I feel like, I think I tried to cover everybody that I can possibly cover. Of course, I'm very grateful to my children for my source of inspiration. I'm grateful to my parents because had it not been for their fortitude, I would have, we would have never been into this country. I'm grateful for my supportive husband who, bless his little heart, he has to deal with all this sometimes. And I could be a little high maintenance sometimes. I know, shocker, right?
Well, I don't want this to be the last time that we talk, Bella. After March or whatever happens in your pageant, I want to talk again and continue with the different platforms that whether it be the women or the human trafficking. I want to know how that's progressing. If you've been able to find people or stop the horror of that. Because I have daughters. I don't want them hurt in any way or taken. I feel it too. So, usually I finish these things off with last words for the people. This could be words to live by, something that you heard a long time ago, maybe a mantra, or it could be just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Bella Levy, last words for the people.
Last words for the people. Just be kind to one another. Love each other. And if you see something, say something. If you're wrong, then you're wrong. But if you're right, you can change the trajectory of someone's life. You could become a warrior. If you see something that don't look right, say something. And I think that a lot of the people I don't know, I don't want to get up. No, it's time to get, because I know I myself, I can't do it. But if we crush the demand, then the supply will crash. If there is no demand, I know I can't take care of that. But if people open their eyes up and they're like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. That doesn't sound right. And they start being more vigilant, reporting these things. Become active. Reach out to your local chapter. If you don't know who to reach out to, reach out to your local clergy. Reach out to your local government and just say, how can I help? What can I do? You will be surprised how many people are willing. And I guess on that note, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for having me. Have a happy new year. I want to wish everybody a happy and healthy 2021. I know a friend of mine told me a joke, and I have to say it because I was saving it till the end. They said, you think 2020 was bad? Wait till 2021 starts to drink. Get it, like the drinking age, 21, but I had to be there. So moving on, last words, take care of each other. Be kind, and it's okay to speak up. And I cannot, again, say thank you so much to my people from company, because when I'm able to go to work, I'm able to be and I'm able to be that super scrubs, and I'm able to help. So we're all in this together. Take care of yourself and each other. And Dan, thank you. You have a friend in Maryland.
Well, there you have it, party people. Bella Levy. I thought she was, beauty queen, but she's so much more. X-ray tech, math, just a brain already. She's got a good head on her shoulders, and the women empowering and the human trafficking. You could tell the passions that she has. She lit up when she talked about her family, when she talked about all the people that have helped her out. She's very friend oriented. She sends out those good vibes, and the people are attracted to those good vibes. I'm attracted to those good vibes. Thank you, Bella Levy. Bellachka 2021, BELLACHKA 2021 on her Instagram. Follow her, stalk her, and help her out in any way you can. If you see something, especially about the human trafficking and the like, hey, you say something. If people don't think that there's slavery going on. Oh yeah, there's still slavery going on. Slavery did not end, 100 years or in 1865 or so. Slavery's been going on since people were people. You got strong people, they will overpower the weak people. And I have to put that in quotations, because people may be weak in muscles, but still have brains. Everybody counts. Everybody's important, is what I'm trying to say. And no one should have the power over anyone. And I know you know someone that's got power over you, unless you're the boss of all bosses, El Capo Duty Capo. But even that guy, he's got a boss. There's always somebody on top. So, but we just got to get along with each other, and don't take advantage of people. Just be nice. Be nice. Bella Levy, very nice. What a nice lady. So glad she was on the program. Thank you so much for being on the program, the What Makes You Famous podcast. Now I'm turning my attention to you. If you would like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for me. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.